Hello. One of the short films I made recently was about promoting mental health. And as somebody who's worked in that arena, in that field of mental health and mental ill health for many, many years now, I find that people sometimes use the term mental health when actually they mean mental ill health. So mental health and emotional health, like physical health, is something that, we need to attend to every day of our lives. But because mental health can be more difficult to see and to see it deteriorating, to see when there are those changes, I think it's often something that we don't pay as much attention to. And also because we are socially conditioned to keep going, to work hard, to work long hours, to not take breaks. And that if we do that, if we take breaks, if we set limits, set boundaries on what we do, who we see, how much of that we do, then in some way that we're showing a sign of weakness. And I think that attitude is very, very deeply entrenched in our psyche and hard to get away from. In 2010, when I went to Findhorn for the first time, one of the speakers who was in the Universal Hall, and he was actually there staying for the week when I was there, was Satish Kumar. And the one thing that I remember from his talk that evening, which was fascinating, but the one thing that really, really stood out for me was that he said, we are human beings, not human doings. And in order to be, we have to have space and stillness in the day. And we also have to have creativity in our day. And what he suggested was that each day to try to work for 4 hours and then to have 4 hours to do other things that really feed you, that are creative. Maybe that's working in the garden, writing poetry, making music, singing, cooking, sewing, cutting wood, whatever it may be, but some kind of creative activity. And this reminded me of the days when I was a newly qualified occupational therapist back in the early 1980s. And working in inpatient psychiatry. So I was working in a big old psychiatric hospital institution, but we had a really forward-thinking therapy department, and every day we would work with people or have people down from the inpatient wards, from the acute wards, to engage in all kinds of different therapeutic activities. And there was a big emphasis on creativity. So every day there would be cooking groups, there would be baking groups, there would be gardening, there would be pottery, there would be art, there would be creative writing. Different kinds of talking groups also, but talking groups using drama and therapeutic games, activities to enable people to begin to process what they were going through and to enable people to begin to talk about their experiences, which often they were finding very difficult to do. So this link between what Satish Kumar said, the realization of the importance of creativity in our lives, and those reflections, recollections of the activities that we would help people to take part in, meaningful, purposeful activity, and actually how that can shift things within the body, how it can calm and soothe the central nervous system, how through that creating something we get that sense of satisfaction, that sense of connection. Our bodies are able to release different chemicals like oxytocin, rather than cortisol and adrenaline. So what you do and how you feel and how you think about those activities inevitably changes the physiology of the body. And there's a strong link between creativity and elevation of mood. So I just wanted to share those thoughts with you this week, and to flag up the importance in terms of promoting mental health of creativity in our daily lives. And maybe that's just a shift in how you think, because, for example, cooking, which is an everyday activity for most people, can be incredibly creative, and it's sometimes something that we see as a chore, as another aspect of work. And really the difference between work and pleasure is just a shift in the way that you think about it, a shift in your attitude towards it. So every day there is an opportunity for each and every one of us to be creative, to elevate our mood, and to enhance, improve and promote our mental health. Thank you for being with me today. It's always my absolute pleasure to make these short films. I'm Vicky Marston, if you haven't seen me before, and my website is vicky.marston.co.uk. I also have a Facebook page and post something on there most days, which I endeavour to be entertaining, interesting, uplifting and thought-provoking. So please do have a look there, and maybe subscribe to the channel, which I would love, or leave me any comments from this film today. So until the next time, thank you. I wish you good health.